Hey friends, welcome back to my studio. I'm super excited today. I'm going to paint an abstract. I don't paint many of them. I really enjoy doing them because I keep them simple. I keep the design simple and it kind of re-energizes me. I just play with paint and color. I've got an 18 by 24 inch canvas from Michaels. It's not as thick as I usually do. I don't know if that's 3/4 inch thick. It has a beveled edge, which is really nice. I really like these. Oh, here, maybe you want. It's gallery wrapped and splined, which is fun. I've already made a couple of decisions. I took a blue chalk pastel from Blick Art Materials, and I don't know if you can see it. Here, I'm gonna put it up to the camera. I'm gonna go basically and have a C shape, like the letter C, and I'm gonna have it start basically up high over here and come down a little lower over here, a little lower. I always say words funny. And then I've got the word love on there. So I'm gonna mix up some color, kind of a muted blue. I'll be back in a bit and let you know what I'm up to. Okay, let's have some fun. Okay, let's chat a second. Let's do paint and palette and colors first. So here's my palette. I made a really light blue-gray color. The blue is Prussian blue. And it's already a muted, I'm just making sure it's Prussian blue. It's already a muted blue. I put, I think you saw me in the time lapse, a little dollop of Prussian blue on my palette, and I squeezed out a little bit of black. I used half as much black as I did the Prussian blue, and then a whole bunch of titanium white. So the black is Mars black, and then the white is titanium white. And then what I did, here we need to flip this around. I also got a little bit of water on my hand. So first I painted it this way. This way is going to be up. And I followed my pastel line, but not exactly, but pretty close. And then as I was going along, I thought, oh, let's add some more white. So if it's darker at the bottom, I'll have more weight and I'll have a little bit more stability. Let's see how this looks upside down. You could do it that way. I like it better this way. You could do it that way. So I painted sort of the top, 2/3-ish, and then I dried it with a hair dryer off camera. And then I flipped it over and painted this side, or the bottom. And I also painted the edges, because even if you frame it like in a float frame, you'll see part of it. And depending on how they frame it, if they frame it and it kind of comes over a little bit, then you won't see the edges, but just in case they frame it where you can see it, or they don't want to frame it, they don't have to, because I painted the sides. I thought I would show you, I used this, it's really inexpensive. It came in a pack of 3 or 4 brushes. It's called Blick Essentials. It's a 3-inch brush, so it's big, and then it makes quick work, which is nice. I really like these. They're really inexpensive. They're really sturdy. I think Michaels has some. Gosh, I'm sure you can find them in a lot of places. And they're not very thick. You know, like a house painter's brush tends to be kind of thick. These are quite thin, which I like. And then I remembered, so sometimes I can't use that big 3-inch brush. Sometimes I have to use this smaller 2-inch brush because I forget to use this jar of water. This used to have flowers in it. I can't really tip it. It's pretty full. Oh, there you can kind of see it. but the brush can fit in there real easily, which is awesome. If I remember to use this, I can use a bigger brush. Otherwise, my mason jars, the mouth opening is a little too small for that 3-inch brush. So I think now I'm gonna, my only other color I'm gonna use, where is it? I think the only other color I'm gonna use is raw sienna. So I'm kind of got a blue-orange. I'm hinting it complements a little bit. But I think I'm gonna have primary blue painting and kind of a cool blue painting. But I think I'm gonna start putting shapes and like big brush strokes or something in this area. I don't know if I'll put any up here or not, we'll see. And then I'll put in some of this color, so the raw sienna. And then I don't know if I will, I've done this before, but I might put some iridescent gold bright here. We'll get that close. You can see the shine. Hopefully that's focusing so you can see it. I've had this tube for quite a long time. I've used it in a couple of abstracts in the past. It's really fun. I don't know if you can see. Oh, you can kind of see it. Okay, guys, so I think that gets us up to speed. I'm not sure what brush I'm going to use, but probably a pretty big one. I don't know, I've got, oh, that one's not that big. I might go grab a bigger one. Yeah, I think I do want a big one. Or maybe I'll use the, I've got like a 1-inch. Could use that, it's got some fuzz in it. Or I could use a 2-inch, but I think that might be too big. Oh, I don't know, we could put some. Maybe we'll start with a 2-inch and then build up. Oh, and then eventually, I think I want to use some more of the structured gel. I used this in the, it's a simple sunflower painting I recently did. I'll link that in this video's description. This is pretty old structure gel, but it's still working. And I found this and a heavy structure gel on Amazon, I'm pretty sure. So it's still available. This is Winsor Newton. And it's really fun to play with. I think you guys would like it. Anything else? I'll link the other abstract I did recently in this video's description. It was simple too. We had a line maybe here, and then I had up and down strokes and played with that. And so now we have a curve. But I think instead of playing with up and down strokes on the curve, I'm gonna play with more strokes that follow the curve. Okay guys, I think we're up to speed. I'll be back in a bit. Hey, thought I'd pop in. So I put black, Mars black on my palette and mixed it with a little bit of black into Prussian blue. So the blue is a little stronger than my background, I think. Kind of hard to tell because it's so much darker. And then I mixed kind of a brownish color with the raw sienna and the Prussian blue, but I haven't used that yet. And then I just used raw sienna and raw sienna with some white. And I think so with an abstract, give yourself limitations just like you might with one of my other paintings on my video. You know, so we're sweeping motion, limited palette. Oh, I've used this for the, oh gosh, I don't know the title of the video, but it's just like a 3-color painting. And I painted a Highland cow. I'll link that in this video description. It's the same colors. What else was I gonna say? Oh, I think I'm gonna let this dry tonight. And then we could be done. Or I'm thinking that having some texture would be fun, and maybe we'll grab like a big palette knife. Oh, I've been using the 2-inch Blick Essentials brush for this. And if I want a skinnier line, I just either turn it at an angle or just turn it into a line. Does that make sense? I don't want to touch my canvas, but it's like if I want a big brush stroke, I kind of lay it flat. If I want a skinnier one, you can hold it at an angle and pull it and it'll make a skinnier line. Okay, I don't know, maybe you want to see. I don't know if I can get it. This is an 18 by 24 canvas, which I think I mentioned earlier. I'm trying to get it closer and straight. It's just really fun, just letting the bristles spread out, make brush strokes. I don't know how good of a tour this is. I think the gold might be kind of fun in it too. We'll have to see when we get there. Okay guys, I will be back tomorrow. Hey friends, this is the next day, and I put some of this structure gel into my dark blue paint, and I had to make some more because actually you might want to separate your palette to have more room for mixing in large amounts of paint, because you're putting on thick blobs of paint, and it's just going to take a lot more. I'm using this Liquitex palette knife. Here, can you see? So it's not real big, but if I put a good amount on the bottom, I can make quite a big mark. So I like that. And I also don't want to go quite, I want to leave some of my brush strokes underneath. So it's kind of like when I talk about painting the big areas first, which I don't always do, but paint the big areas first and then work down to smaller detail. That's what I'm doing. And since I started it with some dark blue flat brush strokes, then I went back and added dark blue thick blobby strokes, and now I added some lighter blue. So I'm just basically following the same pattern that I already started. I found this in my studio. I think it might be from like a Play-Doh kit when the kids were young. It's got a puzzle piece on it. I don't know. It says Masterpiece Pieces Ink. Oh, it might actually. I think this came in a puzzle I licensed, and this is to spread the glue. That's funny. I couldn't remember. I just remembered what that's from. You could use a credit card. This is a very inexpensive palette knife. I have all kinds. This is actually a burnisher I used to use back in the day when we shot halftones for a publishing company, and then you waxed them and burnished them down. All right, you can use whatever you want. What else do I want to say? Oh, here, let's see if you can see it. So this is wet, and if I forgot, oh, I can't. So one thing I did is I put a brush underneath. Here, you can kind of see it over here. I've got a brush underneath, and then I anchored. I don't usually, this is gonna be wiggly. I don't usually use this part of my canvas, but this time I anchored it because I'm putting a decent amount of force. So I'm going to loosen that up, and then that's going to kind of fall back. Okay, let's see, I don't want to grab it where it's wet. Oh, and I just lost one of my brushes. Can you see, oh, I don't know if you can see the depth. I don't think you can. Oh, maybe you can a little bit on the lighter blue, right here where my thumb is. Here, let's try this way so we get better light. I think it's fun. Yeah, I don't know if you can see the depth on the video. I might do a little video tour hopefully I remember when I'm done painting. But I thought I'd stop and talk about it's going to take a lot more paint. So while this is a simple painting, they really should cost as much as if I do a buffalo painting, because I'll have so much more materials into it. And then it takes a lot more time to stop, mix the structure gel in, get it on the knife, scrape it on, and then clean off the knife. There's a lot more steps. I'm not just dipping a paintbrush in and painting. Okay, I hope a couple of those comments help. I'm having a blast. This is really fun. And I'm really liking the texture. I wish I could show it to you better. I'll do a tour when we're done. We'll do a little tour, and I think that'll do the trick. Okay, guys, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, friends, I'm gonna quit for today. All the thick stuff is wet. And I know you can't see the thickness as well. And also what I'm starting to think is, like, I kind of wanted to stay away from the corner, so I got pretty close there. And then I wanted to stay lower over here, and I got kind of high. But I broadened it out, so I think we're okay. I think we're okay. And then I started making smaller and smaller little marks, which is fun. This skip I got is really fun. There's going to be happy accidents that you just go with. And then a couple of times I accidentally got into some wet paint. I could turn it, but I was trying to video it for you guys. You, of course, turn it so you can get a better angle on the painting any way you want to turn it. What else? I don't know if I'm going to add gold. I just need to let this dry. Gosh, I think I already said this. I could be done. I'm thinking as I'm talking to you guys. This was a fun one to use because I could get, you know, wide and skinny little, like I could do skinny little like this, or I could go wide like this. And it's nice that it has a bend, so it keeps me away from the canvas. Okay, what else? I don't know if I can show you. I think I'll just let it dry and we'll do a tour. If I'm done, we'll do a tour tomorrow. I gotta run down to the gallery again. I am so grateful. I've been selling some of my originals, which is awesome. The cash flow is wonderful, and then finding new homes for my paintings is just as amazing. Okay guys, I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, I'm using the better camera on the back side of my phone. Let's see if we can do a little quick tour before I have a couple of comments. I want you to see, hopefully see the depth. So, well, here, let's just do a tour. I was going to start talking about, oh, you can a little bit. Like, because I added, this is still probably wet, but you can kind of see the depth a little bit. Here, what if I come up? Hopefully I'm not making you guys seasick. Kind of see it coming up off the canvas there. Oh, that's just fun. It looks kind of like splashes. I think I'm going to call this Uplift. I could give it like a water title. Here, let's see if we come over here. Oh, you can see some of the depth. I did paint on the sides, but I didn't paint any thickness in case they want to frame it. That blue one has depth, but I don't know if we can get that one to show. The lighter ones will catch the light better and show some of the depth. Well, it's fun. It's like frosting. Think of it like frosting. Here, I wonder if we get closer, if it'll smooth it out. Yeah, see, it likes to, it'll show you that one. Okay, guys, I'm going to turn the phone, or yeah, turn my phone around and just have a couple comments. Okay, so what I did, this is the next day. I'm glad I did the little close-up tour because at least you can see some of the texture. I added a little bit of blue, that might even still be a bit wet, with a smaller, same kind of brush that I've been using, but it's a 1-inch. I just kind of want to make sure that the weight is down here, but I do like that this corner is darker than this corner. These two corners kind of ended up the same, but I'm okay with that. And then actually my heights kind of ended up the same, even though I didn't want them to. I kind of wanted this to be higher, and it technically is, if you kind of follow my texture, and it's skinnier and then I get wider. But really with this dark streak, it pretty much, it's okay that it comes up to the same. So a lot of times I just like to not line things up, but it's an abstract, you know, or in any painting, you can do what you want, just have fun. Let's see, I mixed a lighter color with the raw sienna and white, and I put in quite a bit of this structure gel. I am just having a blast with it. It is really fun. You can kind of see maybe that my paint is standing up off the palette there, which is neat. I think I could make it a little thicker. What else? Oh, I decided it needed just a little more little texture. I had some white, but it doesn't show as much right here. I think the creamy has a little more pop and zip to it. And then all I did was, so I laid that on, but then I also just laid it flat and loaded up the flat side of the palette knife, and I just drug it. So you can even kind of see, if you look, you can kind of see where the complete knife hits. And I just drug it, and it's catching the tops of a lot of the texture, which is fun. That's a blob I put in. And I got some really fun, when I did that over here, I got some really fun specklies. A specklies, a technical art term. And you could use any palette knife. This one was handy at my easel. Oh, here, I've already showed you, but it's called Freestyle from Liquitex. Okay, so here I'll show you the specklies since I just talked about them. Right. Oh, there is the structure gel. You're getting glare. That's the structure gel, because the acrylic, there you're getting glare. That's because there's structure gel in that. Here there isn't any, and so it's flat. But I'm gonna put a gel gloss isolation layer on it. I can link how I varnish videos, or I can link how I varnish paintings in this video's description. I had a blast with this, and you can tell I'm kind of excited. It was just fun. So 3 colors, a dark blue, a raw sienna, and a white. I never used that brown. 3 colors. It was good to start with a brush for me to kind of feel it out, see what I was thinking. And it also gives sort of an underpainting and another layer to the painting. And then to come back with some, I think I started with the dark blue and add some texture, and then some medium blue. And then I think I put in the straight up raw sienna, and then a little bit lighter raw sienna. And then I went even lighter with that one. And now of course so I have 3 colors, and I have about 3 values. I just realized what I was saying in my head. And then a simple whoosh shape or C shape. So keeping it simple, 3 colors, 3 values, brush stroke and palette knife, and you've got yourself an abstract painting. That might sound more complicated than it is. I hope not. I don't know if there's anything else I want to say. Let me know what you think in the comments. You could give this a try on an 8x10, see what you think and play with it. I don't know how old this is. They still sell it online. It worked great. I love it. I keep it upside down, and I just open it up and squeeze it out. And just squeeze it out. Okay, guys, this was super fun. I hope you give this one a try. I just can't thank you guys enough for all the support. You guys are amazing. Great, big, happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye, guys.